Coming up, a new dashboard cam from Papago. We'll review an $8 selfie stick. I'm not kidding. VR glasses from Samsung. And I'll show you how to stream live on YouTube with a periscope. It's time to watch before you buy.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Before You Buy is brought to you by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com.
Before You Buy is brought to you by Prosper. Prosper is a peer-to-peer lending marketplace that connects people who are looking to borrow money to those who have money to lend. Visit prosper.com/twit and receive a $50 Visa prepaid card when you get a loan. And by SmartThings. SmartThings lets you monitor, control, and automate your home from wherever you are using your smartphone. Right now, SmartThings is offering Before You Buy listeners 10% off any home security or solution kit and get free shipping in the U.S. when you go to smartthings.com/twit and use the offer code TWIT at checkout. Welcome to Before You Buy, the Twit review show where we take all the best products and sometimes not such great products, and we give them to our staff and we say, give us a real world, what it's like to use this product in real life review. And that's what you're going to get today, starting with this, the Papago Dash Cam. OMG Chad, he's the host of OMG Craft. You can find his Patreon at patreon.com/OMG Chad. Yep. And you've reviewed other Papago stuff, or I know we have.
We've reviewed Papago stuff.
This is a dashboard cam, and I have to tell you, this is a category people are very interested in. First became aware of dashboard cams, of course, because they're heavily used in Russia. Right. Nobody trusts anybody. So we've been seeing for the last few years hysterical and sometimes not so hysterical videos of crashes from Russia. And then remember the meteor that hit the lake?
Absolutely.
And there was tons of video because all the Russians had dashboard cams.
Right. And these are just perfect if you want to make sure that you have evidence. Let's say I've seen videos of people pulling out of grocery stores and someone hits them and it's the other person's fault. And then the other person claims, no, it was your fault.
I got video.
But you have video of the whole thing. So it's a really good way to protect yourself.
Insurance companies sometimes will give you a lower rate if you have a dashboard cam. The ones that we first saw in taxi cabs, actually that's where I first saw these, would record all the time, I think. Yep. But if there was an accident, they could say, okay, give me the last 30 seconds and save it. How does this work?
So same deal. So on the camera you have a wide-angle lens. On the top you have, this is your power, and you're given a very, very long cable. So this will
That's kind of ugly, but that's going to come out of the cigarette lighter.
Right, and it's so long so that you can take this and run it around the edge of your window, across your glove box, and then into the cigarette lighter. So you can really get it out of the way, and you don't have wires hanging. So that's why they give you so much.
Where do they recommend you put the camera itself?
Just about near your rear view mirror.
So, in fact, if possible, behind it so it doesn't block your view.
Absolutely.
In fact, we should mention that in some states, anything affixed to the windshield is illegal. So check with your local authorities.
Right. So this does have that sensor that you're talking about. If you were in an accident, it has a G sensor. So it'll tell if it was in an accident. I can actually turn this guy on. It has an internal battery, so it will record for a few minutes after you turn the car off. Right, exactly. Which is good because let's say you got pulled over and there was a police officer asked you to turn off your car. Right. You'll still get about a minute. You can always reach over and hit, record or here's an incident, and it'll keep going. It's telling me there's no SD card because I pulled it into
so we could look
the
at
computer. Exactly. So along the top you have power. You have the power button, and then this is your emergency button. So if you ever have an incident and you want to make sure it's saved, you hit that, and then it's saved in a different file on the SD card so it doesn't get deleted.
And it's not just saved from this point. It's saved from what? How far
From
back?
the beginning of the clip that it had been taking.
Okay, so that could vary.
It could vary, yeah. So yes, and I had one time when I wish that I had done more, but it was the beginning of the clip.
Yeah.
On the side, you have your SD card slot and then an HDMI out, so you can put this onto a television. And then on the other side, nothing, nothing, and then you have your buttons along the side. Menus are pretty simple. They'll give you buttons that will change contextually based off of where you are. So if you click into something like this, you know, you can move around, go back. And then on the front, you can mute your mic if you want. You can have it turn off the screen. That's what that icon means. And then I forget what M is. I think it's photo mode. There we go. It switches the mode.
Stills instead of video, I guess.
Right. It switches the mode into that's a mode.
I don't know what to look for in a dashboard cam. What are we looking for?
The cool things about this one is that it has extremely high resolution. The resolution on this.
You've actually got some video we can.
Right here, I could show you some video. Here, let me get you the actual resolution is 2560 by 1080.
Wow. Okay. So it's high def. Video.
Right. So if I was to,
it looks good in low light. That's really good.
Right. So if I go here in actual size, this is actual size. It's actually cutting off the number over here because it's larger than the 1080 video.
Okay.
If I can zoom out here, if
that's all right.
Get the full fit to window, fit to screen. There we go. Why is it not doing that? There it goes. Wide angle, you can see from side to side.
You do want that, right? So you want it because you don't know where that car is going to come from.
You absolutely do, and it's harder to tell because this is video that was taken, and you weren't sitting in the car, but this is a very far edge. From edge to edge.
Is it like the whole windshield practically?
It really is.
Okay.
It really is. And you can also see here's a good example of this turn. You can you can still see the turn before I turn in the edge of the frame. So
this looks good, and I'm amazed at how well it looks considering how dark it is.
Right. So now I have seen other cameras that do sort of a bigger boost in low light. So this is with street lamps and things like that. If I let me close and go to, this is on a road without.
A dark road. Okay.
This is a very dark road. So it's a little bit harder to tell detail on this road, but still, and I from using it and then looking at the video later, I felt like my human eye could see more, which is pretty reasonable considering that this is a kind of a smaller camera.
Just shows you though how good cameras have gotten. You can get an inexpensive camera that frankly looks like CinemaScope.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's pretty amazing.
So here's this is the drive over. I was listening to music, so I'm going to just turn on.
Oh, let's hear the mic. Okay.
Yeah, here's the microphone. It's okay. It's not the best. Are you getting that?
It's good enough to hear. Oh, it's not playing. Pause it. And oh, there it is.
There it is. Okay, yeah. So I was playing some music in the car.
It's not great.
It's not the best. This is actually just on the drive over.
But you could hear you, for instance, scream, "Oh!"
Yeah, absolutely. And you can also see, I need to clean my windshield pretty badly, and the sun is directly.
That's something to keep in mind. You got to think about what your
This is a great example of if the sun is directly into the lens, what are you going to see? And you can basically see just about everything
the dirt
you
on the
need
schmutz
to.
on the windshield.
Absolutely. So let me quickly show off the file structure inside of the SD card.
I feel like they're...
Whoops.
We're hearing Chad
What's playing?
talking.
Yeah, here. That's
wow.
That was actually something that I wanted to avoid. Was I didn't. There's certain clips because I was absolutely using this. I didn't know what phone call I was on, or if I'm saying my credit card.
Oh my gosh, everything's
whatever.
being recorded.
Exactly. So the file structure is pretty simple. You have your event file. This is whenever you hit that emergency button, it will save this event. This lady was in front of me was jumping out of the car to close her doors, and the file had just switched over, so I actually didn't ever catch that.
Oh, and see, that's not good.
And see, that was
it doesn't
scary.
guarantee you the previous 30 seconds.
It doesn't guarantee you the previous 30 seconds. And then here, there's just this bicyclist who went by, and I thought that was kind of a
emergency.
Oh my gosh,
a bicyclist.
Check out this bicyclist.
But had he jumped, had he gotten hit?
Exactly. I mean, to be honest, for day to day, sorry that this review doesn't have a catastrophe, recorded. But this is, normally what you're going to get. Okay, so you can put a 32 gigabyte card into the Papago, and that'll store over 4 hours of footage. From just driving from place to place, I have about about 10 days worth of footage before it overwrites.
Look how good that looks.
I know, isn't this great? This is a drive up to Petaluma.
You obviously
from San Francisco.
you got the schmutz off your Windschutz.
Right. Well, the sun is behind me now, so you don't see as much crap on my mirror there. And then I also have one more. There's a few pretty good images that I have. Here's a really dark night. Oh, this was that without. Here's going through a tunnel.
This is kind of cool. I mean, even
neat.
Just for shooting footage as you drive.
It's
nice. Kind of neat.
It's really nice, and it's all automatic. So
it saves everything. It sounds
absolutely.
like.
Yes, you plug it in, and it will turn on when
How many hours can it get on the S?
About 4 to 5 hours on a 32 gigabyte is what I found.
Oh, okay. So you could get a 128 gig SD
card.
No,
32 is the limit.
Oh.
32 is the limit.
So 5 hours recording time limit.
Yeah.
And unlike some...
But you can also change the resolution, so you could get more.
Oh, okay.
This is at the highest resolution. So yeah, there's those.
So unlike some dashboard cams where they only record, you know, or in a case of an emergency, or they have like a loop and then the last 30 seconds gets that. This is really more like just a camera pointed out your window.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then it will. You can hit the event button, and then it'll make sure that it doesn't overwrite the previous recording.
Did you find it distracting? Is it so big that it's distracting to have that in the?
No, not at all. I completely forgot about it.
Like a Canon ELPH.
Right.
Compact camera.
And especially behind your windshield or behind your rear view mirror, you really
and you
don't see
turn
it.
off, I'm sure, the LCD.
Exactly. So some of the settings that I turned on, there's a lot of settings that you can auto configure, and some of the ones that I turned on was that the screen would auto turn off after a while. That the volume, I turned that down. Now, it does also have some features that I really disliked that were turned on by default. Driving safety is by far the worst features that they are touting in this. I can calibrate it here if you want, and you'll see what it wants you to do is point this at the road so that it lines up with the horizon and the stripes, and there you go. It shows up, so you can line this up when it's in your car. It makes a lot more sense that you're lining up with the horizon and the stripes on the road. What this does is it will look for brake lights. It will look for how the sun, if the sun is setting, if you've been driving for too long, and that sounds really great on paper, but in practice, all it does is send you this annoying barrage of beeps. Oh. It doesn't, any voice. So you just have to know that triple beep is the car in front of you, brake lights have turned off, so you should look forward. So it's sort of a safety of if you were at a stoplight.
If you're at a green light, yeah, red light.
You're at a red light and the car, but you're at so many red lights, the thing is
beeping a lot.
It's insane.
But you can turn that off.
You can turn that off, but it's also very confusing for the consumer. For me,
why is it beeping like crazy?
I had to go figure out why the heck was this thing beeping every 30 seconds. Right. And then it has a fatigue alarm.
How does it know if you're fatigued?
Basically, if it's been on for over 2 hours,
you've been driving for a while.
You've been driving for too long, you know, and then it'll tell you, you know, it'll give you a little icon.
It's not like it's going to wake you up if your head hits the steering wheel.
No, it won't. It won't notice that you're drifting out of lanes or anything like that. So those were some features that they tout, which I really disliked. Yeah. And let me think if there was anything else. That about it. So for the pros, I really like the high resolution of the sensor. I also really like the wide angle lens, and I liked the continuous recording that it would overwrite a file. For the cons, there's no way to turn off the chime when it turns on. The chimes are basically a really big con. And then all the driver fatigue stuff I really found difficult when I was first setting up I had to basically go in and change all sorts of menus. So the start of using this wasn't all that great. This cost about $230.
Okay.
That is MSRP, but I've found it for $213 online. Not a lot of a discount. There are less expensive cameras on the market, but I do like a lot of the features that the Papago camera has. So buy, try, don't buy for the Papago. This is the GoSafe 520 camera. I'm gonna give this a buy.
Okay.
I didn't find anything wrong with it. So I'd recommend it if this is in your price range and these are the features that you want.
The only thing that concerns me at all is that it's recording clips, and if the accident should occur after the start of a new clip, you've lost the video.
Right.
You don't have that video.
Right.
Yeah. All right, a buy on the Papago Dash Cam, the 520. Thank you, Chad Johnson. You can catch Chad's work here on Before You Buy on the GizWiz every Thursday on the Twit Network, and of course at OMG Craft on YouTube, youtube.com/OMG Craft. If you want to support him, this poor boy, he's wasting away. If you want to help him out, go to Patreon, patreon.com/OMG Chad. Thank you, Chad.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm going to take a walk in just a second, and we're going to learn about selfie sticks. You know, everything you need to know about narcissistic photography. The Wand of Narcissus, it's called. But first, let's talk about Prosper.com. Nothing narcissistic about Prosper.com. It's a peer-to-peer lending marketplace. It's actually a brilliant idea, bringing people with money to lend together with people who need to borrow money. Everybody needs a little hand once in a while. There aren't many good ways to borrow money when you need it. Are you going to go to friends and family? I don't recommend that. It's kind of humiliating. Plus, it can end a friendship pretty darn fast. Credit card companies, not at those rates. Traditional bank loans, no. Now you can get a low fixed-rate loan with Prosper.com and never even enter a bank. Borrow up to $35,000 and get it in as few as 5 days. You can use the money for just about anything you want. Pay off high-rate credit cards to fix up your house. Start a business. Prosper, Prosper.com/twit. Prosper's online marketplace has money to lend. They said, this is the form, by the way. You fill the form out. It's very easy. It doesn't ask for a huge amount of stuff. You can take a look at the rate you might get, and this does not affect your credit. Prosper, Prosper.com/twit. One more nice thing, for a limited time, Prosper is offering you a $50 Visa prepaid card when you get a loan. That's nice. Go to Prosper.com/twit. That's just for our viewers, up to $35,000 in just 5 days, plus that $50 Visa prepaid card at Prosper.com/twit. All right, I got to find out about the selfie stick. We're going to take a walk here and see what Father Robert Balacer is up to. Let's go on over. Oh my gosh. He's using the selfie stick to shoot real-time video. Here I come, Roberto, on his smartphone. Father Robert Balacer is the host of This Week in Enterprise Tech, the Coding 101 show, and Know-How. We're sorry about having to close down the no-hole.
Yes, but it was a big firebomb, so we figured...
Apparently, we found out that the no-hole was hiding these sprinkler valves.
Yes.
So that should, for some reason, the sprinkler system go out in the studio, we would have to crawl through beanbag chairs and use and beat up old drones to get to the valves.
We probably should have thought about that during the planning phase.
Minor detail.
Minor detail. Minor detail.
He's the king of planning. So really, come on. Why do we need this? A selfie stick?
We don't. In fact, at CES...
They were everywhere, I bet.
They were everywhere, and Carson and I made a concerted effort to avoid selfie sticks. We didn't want to cover it. We didn't want it in any of the videos. We didn't even want to get the freebies. In fact, there was a selfie stick there for $400.
What?
It was like made out of titanium, and it could go 16 feet out. And no, they're annoying little devices, so we figured that if we were going to cover one on Before You Buy, we were going to get the cheapest piece of junk we could find that could actually act as a selfie stick.
What makes a selfie stick a selfie stick?
It's just a monopod.
But it needs to be able to hold your phone.
Correct.
And if you have been fortunate enough, blessed enough not to have seen somebody use these, they're very common. They've been common all over Europe and Asia for some time. We saw a lot of them in London, and they're coming apparently this summer to our shores in a big way.
They're great when you slap people in the head as you're trying to take a selfie of yourself. It's very neighborly.
So the idea is your phone is there, and you hold this there, and instead of the selfie where your arm is always kind of moving out of the picture, it's fairly surreptitious. Well, not really surreptitious. this at all, is it? And it gives you a nice view. Now, there's some fancier things. First of all, this is telescoping.
Right.
You obviously want it to be light because you're going to be holding it like this for a while.
Yeah. And also, we wanted something that was inexpensive because, I mean, again, there's that $400 selfie stick.
I can't imagine spending that much.
I couldn't imagine myself spending that much money. And this is something that you're probably going to lose once or twice.
Right.
It's going to get destroyed when you move.
It's like an umbrella.
It's like an umbrella. You know, use it if you need it. We wanted to give people something that they could buy relatively inexpensively, try it out, and then decide, no, I really don't want to.
So which is this it?
This is it. This is the UFCIT. And we've got a little video that's going to show you, I guess, why you might want it.
Father Robert Balaser and the selfie stick.
This is the UFCIT Extendable Selfie Handheld Stick Monopod with adjustable phone holder and Bluetooth wireless remote shutter for iPhone and Android. That's a ridiculously long name for what is essentially a Bluetooth selfie kit, so I'm just going to call it the Bloofy. The Bloofy is $8 and it comes in 3 pieces. An extendable monopod, a universal tripod mountable phone holder, and a Bluetooth remote control. The monopod extends from 9 to 43 inches with its friction-held telescoping barrel. The head of the monopod has a ratchet-style pivot and a standard 3/8-inch thumb screw. A rubberized handle and arm strap keep the monopod in place, and at the bottom of the monopod is a 3/8-inch mount in case you want to attach the selfie stick to another selfie stick. You know, yo dog, I heard you like selfies, so I put a... oh, never mind. Of course, this is the Bloofy, so there must be a way to mount your phone on the monopod. That's where this comes into play. The phone holder is simple, but it works surprisingly well. On top of a 3/8-inch mounting point are 2 spring-driven arms that can be expanded to hold just about any size phone. But what keeps the Bloofy from being just like any other selfie stick is the fact that they've included a Bluetooth remote that will act like a shutter on iOS and Android devices. Simply turn it on, pair it with your device, and it will trigger the shutter on most updated devices even without a supplementary app. Using the Bloofy is simple. Screw the phone holder into the monopod, mount your phone, turn on the camera, extend the monopod to the desired length, and use the Bluetooth remote to snap a picture. Of all the selfie sticks I've seen, this is definitely one of them.
I love this idea that you could have kind of selfieception and attach a selfie stick to the bottom of this selfie stick. And then I realized, oh my God, I've invented something that we've all needed, the Belfie stick, so that you can take butt pictures easily and simply with the articulate.
And someone's actually going to market that.
There it is. Go to belfie.com. I got bad news for you. I didn't invent it. So this is a couple of things that you want to look for. Is a way to attach the camera. These I've seen before. This is just a simple spring-loaded clamp. That makes it really easy. Yeah. But the key is you can't reach the camera to take the picture.
Right.
You don't want to have to go press the timer and then go like this.
Yeah, I don't understand the ones that don't include the remote. In fact, the remote is really the only part here that I think is worth it.
And you know what? That's worth $8.
That's worth $8, right? Because you could take this and now you could actually put your phone anywhere and trigger photos, either iOS or Android. This is a super cheap monopod. It's probably not going to last very long.
You wouldn't cry if you lost it.
I wouldn't cry if I lost it. If I had to buy this alone, just without the remote, this thing costs like $3, this little kit here. So get this and get the selfie phase through.
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons. Pros, cheap. It's super, super cheap. This is a great way to feed your addiction without breaking the bank. Yeah. This is nice. The shutter is actually incredibly useful. I'm probably going to dump the selfie stick. This I will keep around. The cons is, well, it's cheap. It's super cheap, and it's a selfie stick.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a selfie stick.
Would you buy it?
I would actually buy it. Yeah, for $8 shipped. This $8 shipped on Amazon. Why not?
Why not?
Put it in your toolkit.
We should point out that some phones have kind of selfie stick enabling features. For instance, an iPhone, if you want, you could put the headphones down this way and press the button. And the Moto X for 2014, you can actually go, okay, Moto X, take a selfie. So it would, even if it were on the end of this, you could say, okay, Moto X, take a selfie. And it goes 3, 2, 1, and it takes a picture.
Or Brian was saying how his watch can actually trigger.
And Android Wear. If you have an Android Wear watch, when you launch the camera app, you already have something like this because your Android Wear watch can do it. So you may not need this, but you definitely need this.
Yeah, I think it's a piece of junk, but it's an $8 piece of junk. So get it. Why not?
Is that on Amazon?
That's on Amazon.
If I look for?
The UFCIT. Just put in UFCIT and you will find the Bloofy.
Ultimate Fighting Championship?
Something like Ultimate Fighting Selfie Stick.
Yeah. Thank you. Robert Balaser is the host of This Week in Enterprise Tech, Coding 101, Know-How, and I almost forgot Paco, my favorite show on the Twit Network, Padres Corner tonight. And every Tuesday night, once we've shut the rest of the place down,
Right.
he can take over.
I just
gets in
sort
there.
of keep the lights on.
All right, I'm going to walk over here. Actually, can I borrow your...
Yeah, take it with you.
I want to do a selfie shot.
Actually, here. Let's
how do we
let's
do
do
this?
this, and then you'll be able to...
We'll show you how professional production facilities work.
There we go.
Many people don't know this. It looks like I could do a tracheotomy with this. All right. Okay.
Go for a
Here we
walk.
go. Now let's take a walk and see what else is happening on Before You Buy. Holy cow. This actually is kind of cool. I think I could use one of these. Seriously. This is good. You're all fired. I've got a selfie stick. Jason Howell. Say hello to Jason Howell.
Oh, hi. How's it going?
Jason Howell is here with a review of something we saw. Okay, can I turn it off now? Yeah. It's pretty funny. You get kind of interesting video that way. Man.
I don't know. I don't know if I could walk around with a selfie stick all the time. Like, where do you put it when you're not using it?
We're going to take a look at something that we saw at one of the Samsung events. It's the Samsung Galaxy Gear VR, and this is, we saw the Samsung announcement of this, and kind of,
Scratch your head a little bit because you hear all of the kind of asterisks involved here. You know, obviously it's a well-built VR headset. I don't have a whole lot of experience with VR headsets.
but you need a Galaxy
it's
Note
pretty solid.
to
You
go
need a
in
Galaxy Note 4.
Now, that's not
That's the
as weird as it sounds because the Oculus Rift uses Galaxy phones for its display. In fact, this says with Oculus Rift inside.
Right. This is a partnership with Oculus, actually. You can kind of see.
All right, so?
Looks similar, I think, similar to the Oculus headset.
Except it's not black. It's kind of cooler.
Right. It's definitely a little bit more
And it's a
bold.
lot cheaper because you don't have,
Yes.
you supply the Note 4.
That's right. You supply the thing that's really powering.
That's doing all the
this,
work. This is
majority.
just really a holder.
Yeah, exactly. It's $200. You can buy it in the U.S. Jason Cleanthus. I don't know if
Bought
you
it?
have it
You
over
bought
your
it?
shoulder.
He's got a Note.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
Jason
so
Cleanthus bought this.
Show
from
us the
Samsung
controls.
store.
I see that it grips fairly tightly onto the Note 4 in the front
So
there.
you've got the little touchpad on the side.
Ah,
this is how you do your navigation, or actually when you're playing games and everything, you can swipe
And there's a back
use it
button
as like
above
a
it.
navigation
Okay.
directional pad. There's a button up there that goes back, so that'll take you back. And it's a little bit, you know, I played around with this for 20 minutes. Basically, this is more of a preview than an actual review because Jason got this today. He came over, he's like, do you want to play with it? And I played around with it, strapped it on my head, and got lost in the experience. It was actually
that good?
very cool. Very, very
Can
cool.
I try it?
Yes, you may.
Is it geared to your brain cells, or can I just...
Oh, you can just pop it on.
This is the view I'm going to
Yep.
see here.
We have it streaming to Chromecast right now.
Okay, so the first thing...
So you'll want to look, you know, line up the pointer on no and just
Okay.
tap the touchpad.
He said, oh, breaking news, Apple and Google are tracking your every move. What?
Oh, that's
What?
not comforting.
What? That was the breaking news?
So there you are.
Okay, now I'm looking at the planet.
You're looking at the planet.
Oh.
There you go. I really like this. Look up, down, all around, everything. It's totally immersive.
That's the problem, though, with wearing these is that while you're enjoying this totally immersive experience in your head, to the rest of the world, you look like a moron.
Yeah, it's true. Another thing I noticed is that you want to do exactly what you're doing right now, right? Like
wait,
you
it
want
got
to move
dark. It
around
got
in your
dark. What
seat.
happened? Oh.
The problem is you can't
it's a
see
new
anything
movie.
that surrounds you.
Oh, it's a
so
new
it'd be very
movie.
easy to just like bonk your head. On
Well, you
something.
should sit down when you're doing it.
Yeah, and actually, I found being
Oh
in
my
a swivel
gosh.
chair to be a really good.
I can see
Hey, there you
behind
go.
me. I even have a shadow.
Yeah, you have a shadow.
Holy
Isn't that
cow.
cool? So
This is amazing.
it is really cool, I think.
Now, I've used the Oculus Rift. This is actually, is it using the full high-res display on the Note 4?
It's using the
Look,
the,
I'm sitting
the
in
Note 4
somebody's
display.
tent.
But you know, it's
Hello,
splitting the
peeper.
resolution for you, basically. Now, isn't this cool? This is
I'm in a
this is you
Tibetan
sitting
tent. This is incredible.
Isn't it awesome? So,
Wow.
and this is also kind of showing you the power. We heard not too long ago about Samsung's upcoming 360-degree recording camera.
Right.
It's kind of what some of these are. It's a camera in the middle of a room, and you
That
become
I kind of
immersed.
like this is Cirque
You
du
are
Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil.
Now, I like this because I'll tell you a couple of things that I like about it. I'm not getting as seasick as I did when I played games. I think it's because you're static.
Look up.
And you're just looking around, right?
Yeah. It's super immersive, very impressive.
Wow.
So just to give a sense of some of the hardware here, of course, the Note 4 is driving most of this with its Snapdragon 805 processor.
Sure.
The Gear VR headset itself, it comes with 16 gig micro SD card slot, or card with content, There's an SD card adapter and a zipper case, which is in the box that I have on the table here. The phone obviously snaps into place on the front, as you saw. There's headphones that you can wire right into your ears.
I'm hearing audio, yeah.
Although if you don't have that, there's onboard speakers, which were okay. I wouldn't say they were amazing speakers.
I got to tell you, the res is not super. It's not 1080p. I would guess it's 720p, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the resolution of the Note 4 is 2560 by 1440.
Right, but it's not using all that. I could see pixels.
So you could go down to Temple VR and then hit your touchpad.
What should I do, Temple VR?
Do
is this going to make me sick?
Yes.
Okay, get the cold washcloth ready to put on the back of my head.
I installed this while I was using it and played it a little bit, and as it was going, I was like, okay, yeah, that's a little weird.
This is Temple Run.
So this is Temple Run for VR.
I see that there are some controls. I won't be using the ones on the left. I'll just be using the jump, the touchpad. Okay.
Yeah, not the button on top.
Jump, move left, right, and okay, I think I'm ready.
Now getting started.
Oh my God, this is. I'm already take the.
Yeah, once you get moving, it's going to be crazy. So okay, now once you get this, just start swiping forward to run.
Oh, run! Run!
For some reason, it's not working.
It's not.
Double tap it. Oh, double tap it.
Oh, thanks. I got eaten.
That's okay. You get this.
Jeez, nom leathery.
I mean, that's
wow,
that's
this is
part
cool.
Of the experience.
So tap it to run.
Apparently, they don't do a good job of telling you that. But
okay. Well, I looked at the instructions, but I of course didn't read them.
Okay.
Run!
So there you go. Okay, now. This is total. Okay, now you don't need to tap anymore. You're just moving. So you're just going to swipe left and right now that you're on the track.
Okay. Oh, you know, it should sense your head movement instead of me having to swipe, right?
Yeah.
It would be nice if it did that.
Better examples of this kind of thing.
This is immersive.
It is immersive.
It's immersive.
It's a little
I didn't jump. I got to jump.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're right behind you, man.
They're really behind me?
Oh, yeah, that shadow is them.
That's them?
That's them.
That's not me?
They're on you.
Oh!
No, you're a dude.
Jump! Oh, I didn't jump.
Well.
Okay. Hey, this is kind of fun.
It is. I have to say one of the things that really blew me away, and I'm not sure exactly how to get to it because Jason was the one that got me there, was something called A Moment with Patrick Watson. And it's an artist, a musician, in his studio environment with the 3D camera set up in the middle. And he's just kind of sitting at the piano, kind of producing music.
See, I think that's a very interesting use.
And you get,
you're there.
You are there, sitting in the room with him while he's making music. It's really impressive. But I would agree, the display, you see some of the pixelation.
Yeah, it's very pixelated. But so is the Oculus Rift. Now, I haven't seen the new Oculus Rift, which they showed at CES.
Man, when they start doing like Quad HD on this kind of stuff, can you imagine it's going to look even better?
I think the human anatomy has to adjust.
It's okay. Come back to us, Leo. Come back to us.
I mean, this is very. What?
You don't look funny at all. You
look
perfectly normal.
No.
I feel like this is a good look for you, Leo.
I must have hit something. I got it.
There is content store inside with tons of free content. Most of it's kind of like demo content, but it gives you a real sense of the power of it.
Now, I back out by pressing the back out button? Okay.
So the top button will back
This is
out.
actually, you know what? Exit to Oculus Home. Yes, this time, right?
Yep.
And then this is, you know what? This is, I'm very interested. Strangers with Patrick. This is the one you were talking about.
Patrick, yes.
Yeah.
Do that. That'll put you right in the middle of his music production space.
I
got
that's
lost in it.
amazing.
I got lost in it.
Well, you're a music guy, right?
Yeah, and I was like, I want to know what he's recording with on the computer.
So that's what's most interesting about this
There's a
stuff
dog sitting on the floor.
Is an immersive environment. It's a static camera, but it's a 360-degree camera, I guess.
So you could look, entirely. Up, down, all around, back, front. Yeah. And you're there, and he's just, he's doing his thing.
Now imagine if this were live video, which it could be, and I could interact with him.
Completely.
That would, I think now we're in a very interesting kind of space.
Yeah, it kind of gave me chills at this point. So very cool stuff. There's a lot of content. I mean, there's a lot of demo content. I'll be curious to see how much content gets pushed through to this, but being that it's a cooperative effort with Oculus, I imagine all the development that's happening with Oculus is going to kind of roll over into this. And Samsung has specifically said in interviews they aren't interested in this being a quote-unquote viable product.
It's not a product.
Seller.
It's not a profit.
This is proof of concept. This is, if people buy it and are willing to spend their money on it, do they enjoy it? Do they show it to their friends? If so, we'll spend more time developing for it.
I think it's very interesting.
I do too. And
I had, you know, I was a Kickstarter supporter of Oculus Rift. I had the development kit. I've used several generations of Rift. This is very productized. This is easy to use, and
it's very well built. I have to say, it's comfortable.
You have to have a Note 4. That's going to limit the market a little bit.
Hey, I just dropped my Nexus 6. What should I do?
I would steal Jason's Note 4. Here, let me see if I can get it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was actually more blown away by it than I think I expected. Not because I doubt VR, because I think VR is very cool, very interesting. But I don't know. You put those goggles on, and I realized everyone watching, really cool. It's kind of hard to understand the level of awe that you get when you're surrounded in that experience. It's really cool.
Yeah. And I've been skeptical, especially because of the motion sickness thing. But that one is better than the ones I've used previously. At least I didn't get sick yet.
Do you feel like you're back to reality now, or
it's disorienting?
Yeah, I know, you take it off.
I want to go.
I want to
go
back. Actually, after 20 minutes, I don't know if
it's
that was,
you know, our biology is not designed to work with this at all in so many respects. But
yep, cool stuff.
You know, as somebody who read Snow Crash and wants the metaverse, this is a step in that direction. Thank you, Jason Howell. He not only is the greatest host in the world on All About Android, you do such a good job with that, but also helps me out on all of the shows I do, like Twit, Mac Break Weekly, This Week in Google. You do a great job. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Really, really neat stuff. We're going to take a break, then I'm going to come back and show you how you can stream live on YouTube anywhere you are. But first, let's talk a little bit about smart things. I've got my smart things here. I love smart things. You know, I've always kind of, it's kind of like VR. I've always believed in the idea of a smart house, but always kind of felt like we weren't there yet. We couldn't really figure out how to do it. There were all these different protocols like Zigbee and Z-Wave and X10. Nothing talked to anything else. My Sonos didn't talk to my Hughes. My Hughes didn't talk to my Nest. My Nest didn't. I mean, but SmartThings said, look, we're going to make a hub that'll talk to everything. We'll, of course, develop our own, and they have doohickeys that go with it. This is the SmartSense motion detector. It could do things like turn on something when there's a movement, like lights, send you an alert when there's motion while you're away. But see, the thing is, because this hub talks to not only the SmartThings devices, but everything else, you could have this motion sensor play barking dogs on your Sonos system when it detects motion in the backyard.
I love it.
That's cool.
That is really cool.
These are really designed to get you started. In fact, they have solution kits that'll do basic, simple things like detect water in the basement or motion or so forth. They also have home security kits. Everybody understands, you know, what those are for and can do. But each of them comes with a hub and gives you a chance to expand after that. This is the SmartThings open-close sensor, something you've probably seen on home security systems. It's a two-parter. It can tell you when doors and windows and cabinets are open and closed, but it also knows what temperature it is. Now, there's some really useful applications there, and the nice thing is you control this with your smartphone and your iOS or Android. You can do things like if this, then that. This is, let's see, that's the motion sensor. There's just so many, look at all the little doohickeys I have here. I don't think that's what SmartThings calls them, but this is a moisture sensor. You want probably put that in your basement. Anyway, take a look. SmartThings.com/twit is the website. We'll give you 10% off any home security or solution kit if you use the offer code TWIT at checkout. SmartThings.com/twit. The sky's the limit with SmartThings. And the idea that you can, wherever you are, by the way, you don't have to be at home, use your smartphone to control your house. You're at work, you say, hey, start the, by the way, Samsung has said we're going to tie this into our Samsung appliances, so you could say things like, start the dishwasher. And all of a sudden, you're washing your dishes. On the way home to washing your dishes, turn the oven on. Set your light lamps to brighten each morning at sunrise or when you want to wake up. I just love it. SmartThings.com/twit, CES 2015 Editor's Choice Award from Time.com. So congratulations to SmartThings. You deserve it. I've been a fan. I was a supporter on Kickstarter and been a fan of SmartThings for some time. And I'm really glad to see them kind of getting the recognition they deserve. Get your SmartThings kit started. SmartThings.com/twit. I think this is kind of cool. You got your VR glasses. I've got this asthma inhaler. I'm sorry, Periscope. I'm sorry. It's the HTC RE. And this is another example of something we saw HTC announce at one of their events, probably Mobile World Congress last year. I don't really remember exactly when.
It was a little bit later than
Was
Mobile
it?
World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just come out about a month ago, $179. It's called the RE, and it's a camera. Now, essentially, this is the same kind of camera that you'd find in a camera phone, 13-megapixel camera for stills. It's actually very wide angle, and it needs to be because there's no viewfinder. So if I'm going to take a picture of Jason, all I have to do is kind of roughly aim it in your direction and press this button here, this big silver button. The front button is for slow motion. This shoots video as well, but the key really is to tie this into your phone, your Android phone, with the RE application. I'm going to do that right now.
So did that picture just zap right over to your phone?
It immediately is picked up on the phone. There's some interesting things about the RE. For instance, this body is capacitive. So it turns on when you hold it. You turn it on once at first. So there's the picture of Jason. And here, I'll snap another one. Oh, wait a minute. I'm recording video.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, even better. I'll stop that.
Okay.
In fact, let me do this. Watch this. This is kind of interesting. You tie it into your YouTube account. And now, when I do this, it's going to do live streaming. So let me aim this at me. And then we can. It takes about 30 seconds after you start the video for it to show up on your YouTube account. But in about 30 seconds, you could go to my YouTube account. I've made this public. You can obviously make it private. You might want to. And start seeing it. So I've already posted at youtube.com/Leo Laporte videos we shot last week. I've been shooting all week long at meetings and so forth. The idea that I can stream just that easily to YouTube
that was really easy.
live is, I think, very intriguing. So it's got to do a little processing. It'll only do 30 minutes total of YouTube live streaming. But you know what? That's enough for your vlog.
Is that a technical limitation? Or
I'm not sure. Maybe YouTube makes that limitation. I'm not sure. It does require a certain amount of free space for it to be streaming live. Right. Now, the kit comes, and I have the, oops, I have the kit right here.
It
just fell down. The kit comes with the camera itself, plus an 8. It has a, actually, let me use this one because even though we're streaming live, I can show you. It comes with an 8-gigabyte micro SD card, but you could put larger ones in that slot there. So don't feel limited by that. Also a USB cable that you can connect it, but it uses Bluetooth to connect to your camera. You also might be considerate of the fact that YouTube streaming is not going to work great on a 3 or 4G network. I mean, I guess if you had a really fast LTE network, it would, but we found it works really well and works best. There's this, let's see, can we see the stream? That's it. There you go. Listen to the audio too, by the way. Can you get that? Streaming live. Right. Now, the kit comes... I think it's pretty good audio.
Yeah.
The microphone is right on the periscope. And you can see there's a slight delay. It's very wide angle, but I think the image is good. I have to say,
for something that small, it should be wide angle.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be.
Hard to watch.
There's also, as I said, a slow motion button, which is not super slow-mo, but it is. I'll give you the pros and cons. The still picture's not so great. You're almost certainly going to get a better picture if you use your smartphone. And frankly, you've got that. In fact, that's kind of the con of the whole thing, is that it's expensive to essentially duplicate the functionality of a smartphone. You can do everything you can do on the RE, probably even better with your smartphone. The camera on your smartphone is equal, in most cases, equally capable with the RE. I don't know if you could stream, I don't know of any way to stream live. Maybe with YouTube you could stream live to your YouTube account with your smartphone. Actually, probably you can. There's the video.
You could, but
I just love how simple this is to use and how compact it is. It has a thread on the bottom for a tripod, so you could put this on a selfie stick or a tripod. But also, just because of the form factor, it sits quite comfortably on any flat surface. So it really is, it'd be fairly simple to, you know, every once in a while fire this up. You get about 3 hours battery life between charges. That's what the USB cable's for, by the way. And do a little video blog or something like that. Turn it off and go. Again, you can save it private, so you don't have to make it public. That's probably a good idea unless you're very, very comfortable with being live. So cons, expensive, not great image quality. Pros, this live streaming thing is amazing, and I really kind of like the ergonomics of it, believe it or not.
I think it was easy to poke fun of it.
Because it's so silly.
At first, when we first saw it, because it's so different. But really, when I think about it, like live streaming from your phone, can be kind of inconvenient.
This is so nice.
The one button, point it like this. You
and
don't
you're
have
still
to worry
using
about
your
how
phone.
you're holding it and being very careful with it. It's in your fist. You're not going to drop it.
Your phone makes a very good viewfinder for this. I find this fascinating. I'm going to have to say try, because I think at this price, $179, it's pricey. You probably 90% of you, the phone you already have does everything you want to do, and you don't need this device. But there are a few of you, particularly I think video bloggers who post on YouTube, or maybe even want to use YouTube Live in a very easy way, who might find this kind of cool. I have to admit there's cool technology in it too, like the capacitive touch to turn it on. It's got great battery life, lots of storage. For video, not, I wouldn't use it to take video particularly. I think your camera phone is probably better than that. So a try, neither a buy nor a don't buy. All I mean by that is, if you look at this and go, yeah, I know how I could use it, then it's definitely worth getting. It's reliable, it works, it does exactly what I just described. But if you don't have in your mind, oh, I know exactly how I'd use this, you probably shouldn't get it. That's the HTC RE, and again, I always like to applaud people who do something unique, something different. Try thinking out of the box a little bit. And this is about as out of the box as you can. So my video is now available on YouTube, youtube.com/Leo Laporte. Leo Laporte saying, thank you, RE. And now I press this button, and I'm done.
Done. And it's archived on YouTube. This would actually be really good for anyone who actually has a lot of subscribers, specifically on YouTube.
PewDiePie should have 10 of these.
Exactly, because it's just no muss. Just
so now that I've said it's a try, I got to point out that after one day of using it, I immediately went online and bought one.
Well, there you go. All right.
So putting my money where my mouth is, I think it's a buy, because that's exactly what I thought. I could do a video blog, a daily video blog with this thing. I wouldn't need anything more. It'd be very simple, straightforward, and that's there's a lot to be said for making it easy to do. So. Kind of an interesting product. Thank you, Jason Howell. Enjoy your Oculus.
Oh, well, I'm gonna spend some time in the music
Gear
studio
VR
here.
from Samsung.
Yeah, and look kind of crazy.
You don't look that crazy. I think we're getting used to this, right? Yeah. We've seen enough people wearing these headsets now. That's not so unusual. Thanks to Father Robert Balaser, the digital Jesuit, for his review of a selfie stick. Really? And of course, OMG Chad for his review of the Papago. We do Before You Buy right before TN2. Every Tuesday on the TWiT network, usually around 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2300 UTC, twit.tv. And we make it available not only as a whole show, but in kind of chopped up as well. So you can get it as a whole show, twit.tv/BYB. But you can also go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/beforeyoubuy. You'll find the entire show there, but each individual review as well, for sharing. So if you say, hey, I know somebody, a vlogger who would really like this RE, you can just share that one piece with that person. That's youtube.com/beforeyoubuy. Email us, byb@twit.tv. If there's something you'd like to see reviewed, or you have comments or questions or complaints, byb@twit.tv. Thanks for joining us. I'm Leo Laporte. Remember, you gotta watch before you buy. See you next time.